Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I thought I'd share some of my analog photography that I had recently developed. So it's mostly from the month of November. So we had our mid-winter meetup with some family in lieu of an actual Christmas get-together because that couldn't happen. And then also we went to London for boyfriend's birthday. So it's just a few shots from those two events. So there's only a couple from the mid-winter meetup. And for this I used Kodak Ultramax ISO 400 film, and apparently, according to the Amazon listing, it's a worry-free, easy-to-use, high-speed film designed for snap shooters, which sounds pretty good. Always revealing the truth of a situation, of an emotion, of the fleeting permanence of nature. It sounds pretty exciting. Unfortunately, in my hands, it's kind of a blurry mess because obviously I didn't keep the camera still enough for any of the shots I was taking. But that's just my style, I guess. So those are just the two that I've included there using that film. All the rest of these shots are actually of our trip to London. As you can see, the London skyline in this rather overexposed picture. This lot of pictures, shots, I actually used Cinestill 800, ISO 800 or 800T. I don't know what that means. But apparently it is light sensitive, highlight sensitive, so it's good for low light levels. And given that it was November and dark and grey and a bit rainy, I thought that would work really well. Although some of the shots, as you saw there with the skyline, a lot of sky in them, were a little bit overexposed because I don't really know what I'm doing in terms of all the settings on my camera. So I really like this shot. It's actually outside the V&A museum, and then you also see the ice rink they have there in the Christmas tree, and I just think it's really festive. I also really like the detail that you can see on the V&A museum building. I think that looks really cool. But quite a few of my shots were a little bit blurry because I just didn't stand still when I was taking the picture, and I paid the price with some blurry shots. But I was pleasantly surprised with how well it took pictures in the lower light levels, particularly indoors. So I do have a few shots inside either the museums or some other places that we went that I know that with other films or in other circumstances it wouldn't have got the picture at all. It would have just been a grey blob basically, and you wouldn't be able to tell what the image was. All of these photographs were taken with my Agfa Silette camera, which is from I think the 1960s, and it's a German camera. It's really chunky, it's really heavy, it's a bit awkward to hold as a result. There's no like strap on it that I can really hold easily, but it is pretty reliable. It seems very durable. It seems well made. It's not like a plastic flimsy camera, so I do like that about it, but I just wish it was a little bit easier to transport around. So this is a shot of Borough Market, which we went to, which is a very hipstery, artisanal breads and cheeses, lots and lots of cheese market. So we didn't really buy anything, but I did shoot a few pictures. And as you can see, even though we were technically kind of inside, it's definitely like a covered market, it still managed to get out a pretty good picture. So I was really pleased with that. This is Covent Garden with the big Christmas tree. So the light was going down, so the sun was going down, and it actually I think looks lighter on the image than it did perhaps in real life, which is normally the other way around. But you still manage to get all of the like twinkly lights on the tree, and here also in Covent Garden you get the really bright lights of the mistletoe decoration that they had inside the covered part of Covent Garden. So I think that looks pretty cool. It creates quite an interesting effect that isn't exactly true to life because it wasn't quite that dark and the lights weren't that bright by contrast, but it is quite cool. And then this is the globe, which is probably again a little bit overexposed because this was the daytime, it was morning, it was a very light sky, but like I said, I have no idea what I'm doing really with the settings, so I tend to use my boyfriend's suggestion of how to set up the camera for each of the shots, but he doesn't really want to necessarily set up my camera for me every time, so I tend to just leave it on the same settings the entire trip. So that's why on some of these shots it's a little bit overexposed, but that's just kind of how it is with film photography sometimes. Anyway, this is the last shot that I am sharing in this video, and it is of Hyde Park, I think. It might actually be one of the other parks, I now can't remember, sorry. But that is where I'm going to leave things. So I hope you liked the video. If you did, please give me a like, and if you'd like to see more, please subscribe.